Hi everybody, this is Jay with jrwelding.net. Today is August 16, 2018. It is 7:50 a.m. and I've finally had the opportunity to do some videos. So I'm going to try and get some stuff done today with it. Bear with me. I am not a professional content creator and I tend to wander, and everybody says that my videos are painful to watch. So let's get started with OnlyOffice. Now, I'm IT, but in the role of IT, I do a lot of trying to manage workflow and project management, things like that. And I've worked for some construction companies, underground utility companies, things like that, and they always have a disconnect within their office and their field work, is that they may end up getting handwritten sheets uh, at the end of maybe a week or week and a half, 2 weeks, whenever somebody, maybe a project manager or their assistant, goes out on site and collects all that data from the site manager, you know. Um, and maybe there's a better way of doing it, and OnlyOffice may be one of those ways of doing it. They offer self-hosted application, and they also offer paid programs where you can have up to 200 maximum simultaneous connections to their servers where they host it. They do backups, things like that. Now, if we look at the feature sets between Community Edition, Enterprise Edition, um, Standard Edition, or Standard Plus, uh, really what you're paying for is backup and support, 1 year support included, etc. And of course, having it on their servers, you can have up to 5 portals with multi-tenancy. The Community Edition, if we get down in here, co-editing, commenting, co-editing only on the Community Edition, everything else has commenting. And we can scroll down and pretty much see that, you know, the feature set is the same across the board here. So we're going to go ahead and get into showing you what this is kind of like. I'm going to try, and there we go, make a differentiation between my two windows. I am using Firefox on the right, and I am using Safari on the left. What OnlyOffice offers is a pretty robust. If we go in here, I haven't set up email on the CRM user, which is the one on the right, and I have an administrative user on the left. The administrative user has 100 emails. It also has CRM functionality across the board with private and public contacts, and public is basically within the system, whoever has access: portal contacts, CRM contacts, personal contacts. We also have, let's get back to the main board here. We have CRM, mail, people, which is people within the organization, and a community blog, forum, that sort of thing. If we go into setup, we can see that we have a module selection. I've turned projects off. I am going to turn that back on and save it. And you have the option of doing the default start page. I do module choice. We can also do custom navigation. So if we have a URL to another application on the web, we can put it right within this landing page. Give it icons, small and large. And portal access, customization, etc. Let's go to customization. We can change the template from corporate to common to educational or custom. I have it set at corporate, and we can change certain settings on the theming, not grand. Now, of course, if you're using a community version, there is no white label. So if you wanted to have your logo up in the top left, you would need to go to a white label version of this. Across the top, You have the ability to search within Community Documents, CRM, and People. You have a notification. I was given access to the folder project management by the administrator on the left-hand side. I can check my mails, of course, again, not set up, and talk, which is the ability to have basic, very basic functionality text chat within different modules. I don't like this part of it. I think it could be implemented way better. If they're going to have a chat server built into it, like they do at port 5222, you know what? Why don't you expose that out and do video chat and that sort of thing? Do a Bosch server and a relay server built into it. You know, figure that part out. So in my opinion, this chat falls short. The second downfall of this program is that it doesn't really have a good mobile app. And, you know, everybody's mobile first, really, today. So I have clients, and I work for a company that uses Skype for notifications on deals and projects that are happening, where they're getting real-time notification through Skype. This doesn't have it, and that to me is a major downfall. The plus side of this, if you look back in history on OnlyOffice, is they used to have on the community version two separate situations, and we'll get into that a little bit more when we look at documents. But the OnlyOffice portal would run on one server, and the document server, the document editing server, which is 100% compatible with Microsoft Office formats, and it's great, had to run on another server. So if one or the other got funky on the network, you had lackluster performance with editing of documents, things like that. With their current release, and I'm glad I went back to look at OnlyOffice, they throw all of that on one server now. So backup and connectivity issues are really resolved with this, and it works great. So again, I'm an administrator in the left-hand browser. I am a CRM user in the right-hand browser, and we're going to get into the meat of OnlyOffice's document management. So I'm going to momentarily minimize this right-hand side window, and I can see that I have some folders set up, and this is for another demo I'm doing. And I have a project management folder on my desktop. This server is running in a virtual machine on server 2012 R2 with, I believe, 8 gig of RAM memory and one processor running. And that's sitting in my work office here at my home office here. However, I am hitting it from the outside world at my ddns.net dynamic DNS. So I have a project management folder here, and I have a document with order of work change, work order, and wastewater management XLSX spreadsheet. And that is a Gantt chart. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drag that whole project in. And I'm going to just consider this to be a new project that I'm starting. The bid process has been approved, and we're a construction company, and we're going to start mobilizing things going on here. So if I go and look at my main screen here, I do have projects now, and I can start a Gantt chart here with you know, a whole project with Gantt chart, tasks, milestones, documents, discussions, all sorts of report generation. I'm going to do a different video on that, and we're going to look at a very basic way of project management. So we'll go back to documents and just drag that into my workspace. Now, down on the bottom right, you can see that those documents have been uploaded. the docx is converted and the other one is uploaded, and it's project management. Now if I wanted to rename that, I could come over here on the right hand side, click that little blue down arrow, and I could rename this whole folder. I'm going to leave it alone for this demonstration. I'm going to say access, and I'm going to go to sharing settings, and I'm going to add a group to this, and I'm going to say sales coordinators, because I know the CRM user in Firefox here is a sales coordinator group in sales coordinator group, and I'm going to save that. Okay, so what happened there, why I did that edit, was I didn't have my sharing permission set properly for my CRM user on the right. And that was just a matter of going into access, sharing settings, CRM, and changing that to full access. I had it as read-only, and we might as well talk about that at this point. You can give users or groups full access, a review only, a read only, or deny access. I haven't really gotten into that whole deny access and how that functionality works, but for my purposes it's going to be either a read only, review, or full access. So now let's go back into that change order on the left hand side as project manager and right hand side as a field supervisor. Okay, so now these look proper. I do like having my cap locks on when doing this kind of stuff. It's just me, it looks better within the form, and I need, in this scenario, I need to do a change order that's going to be visible to my home office as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and hop in here, and we're going to do master contract ID 784521. Okay, and you can see on the left hand side that that is real-time editing, literally real-time editing. The two parties involved in this process right now are seeing exactly the same thing in real time. So I can type in, and you can see on the left hand side, I'll do that again in the below field, that it is literally real time, and you get a pop-up of who's editing that cell or that field at any given time. Okay, so on the left hand side as a project manager, I can say, wait a minute, that input cost is incorrect, and I don't believe I can edit that, because it's showing me the administrator's trying to edit it on the left hand side, but I have to be out of that cell before the administrator can access that cell. So I'm going to change that number to 45 now. On the right hand side it popped up and said that the administrator was editing that. Great. Okay, so now that's real-time editing, and let's see, on the right hand side I'm going to say, just for a paper trail, I'm going to add a comment to this as the field supervisor. Edit it, change order on August 16, 2018. And I always do initials, JW2, and I'm going to add that comment. Okay. Now if I come over here on the left hand side, you're going to see now there's a little yellow dot next to that comment, and there it is. So I can do auditing on these documents real time, back and forth between users, on contracts, change orders, spreadsheets, Gantt charts, that sort of thing. I can also, between these two parties, go to the icon below, which is chat, and you can see now that there's two people actually within this document in the system, administrator and the CRM user, and I can now chat between my field supervisor and the project manager on the left. And hit send, and now I see it on the right hand side. Hey Tom, I've received this, and we'll forward to the project owner. It's really very, very nice. Full editing features. I kind of think you probably get the idea of the document editing and the co-editing of documentation here. It's really, really very nice. You have the ability to do line spacing, cell formats, anything that the document or Excel spreadsheet has available to it within Excel, or I'm sorry, within Microsoft Office. You have the ability to do it within a web browser without any natively installed applications on the computer. So, which means you can do it on Android devices, you can do it on iOS devices, you can do it on Macs, you can do it on Windows machines, you can do it on Linux machines. The flexibility of co-editing and editing documents within the web browser for free with 20 users in OnlyOffice is exceptional. Alright, so let's go to something that's a little more sophisticated, and you're going to notice that I am just closing out this window. Doesn't matter, as soon as I don't need to go in there and save it beforehand or anything. It automatically saves the documents in real time every time that a cell is modified. Okay, and these text messages, this chat, follows the document whether or not you're in it. It doesn't disappear, and so do the comments. So as long as this document is within your OnlyOffice solution, those comments and chats stay with it, which is really nice. So I'm just going to close these windows out, and we're going to look at some things here now with versioning before we move on to the next document. You may have noticed that in the left hand side there was an update. It went yellow. The system automatically alerts the user with visual cues that something has changed. The CRM user got out of it, and it highlighted it in yellow, saying that that was modified. Now if I come into the versioning here on the right hand side, since the CRM user was modifying the change order, it was modified by me, it was modified by the administrator, it was converted to from the work order, and I have my picture in there. There I am, it's the administrator, and it was uploaded by me. Okay, so this has been edited, and if I click on that as the field supervisor, I can give it my initials and a short comment. Change order on inland water. Whoop. Okay, and hit enter. Now I have auditing and a paper trail, a digital paper trail of why that was edited. Now if I go back in on this side as a project manager in the office and change anything here, I can change you know, $1,200 here, hit enter, get out of that cell maybe, yeah, let's get out of that cell, and close that document out very quickly. Once that change is Then yep, there we go. It went yellow. It was edited by me as the project manager, and pricing. And I don't even, the nice thing about this, I just have a habit of putting my initials on things. Nice thing about it is I don't have to do that because it's auditing it automatically for me. Now we can also do version changes. I haven't really gotten into how all of that works, but if you mouse over this, you can mark different versions. You can mark different audits, different paper trails as a new version, and it would show up as version number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, which is really nice. Up here, you get a alert feed, and you also get a talk feed. If I click on this, it's going to take me into talk. Let's just look at the right-hand side as the field manager. You were given access to the folder project management. So if there's any changes through the day, it kind of gives you an alert. Let's take a look at this one. Files updated. Okay. And let's go ahead and get into an XLS Gantt chart, which is really neat. So we're going to go in on this side, on the right hand side as the field supervisor. It's going to load that spreadsheet. And again, this is co-editing. Let's look at the numbers here real quick on task category 1. We have 100%, we have 60%, and we have 0% on both spreadsheets. I'm going to close out as the project manager here. I'm going to get out of all of that. And on the right hand side, I am going to look at the Gantt chart a little bit wider. It automatically spreads it out. And let's make some changes here. Okay, I'm going to do, instead of that 100%, I'm going to do 45%. And it changes the Gantt chart here. I'm going to take this 0%, I'm going to change it to 15%. And I'm going to go in and the comments are actually come along with the spreadsheet, this Gantt chart. So I'm just going to add a comment to it and say I changed, let's see, 1.1, changed, what I do, 1.3, really doesn't matter. And I'll say I changed 1.42. Okay, which is subtask. And I'm going to add that comment. My job's done in the field. I've updated what I had to do in the Gantt chart for the project, and I'm going to close out. It's 5 o'clock. Nobody gets out at 5 o'clock. And I'm going to go back into as the project manager in the field office. I know Tom in the, I'm sorry, not in the field office. As a project manager at the home office, I know Tom's going to do this between 4:30 and 5 o'clock every night because he's got to catch up. He's been out driving the project in the field and doing his job. And he wants to get home to his family and leave at 5 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to go into my project management folder. I'm going to go into wastewater management. And you can see that wastewater management now, I believe, if I looked at this before, order of work change was in the top. And the bottom, it's now at the bottom because wastewater management, my Gantt chart has been modified. And let's take a look at that. Yes, my document folder today at 8:22 a.m. was modified. So I'm going to pretend it's 5 o'clock. Let's go in there as a project manager. And now I'm looking at what Tom did in the field. The 45's changed, the 60's changed, the 15's changed, whatever. Okay, well, as a project manager, I should know that those numbers have changed, but maybe I've got 3 or 4 projects going on, and damn, I can't remember whether 1.4.1 was changed. I just can't remember. But luckily I have comments, and I've got a little icon there that says there's comments. Well, there we go. CRM user, which is Tom in the field, I changed task 1.1, 1.3, and 1.4.2. 1.2. Okay, well, I thought it was 1.1 or 4.1. It's actually 4.2. It was changed. And I can reply now and say that confirm changes. I don't have to put my initials. I don't have to put the date because it's going to timestamp it and date stamp it. Did I do that? Did I do it or did I hit close? If I could spell, it would be great. And I'm going to reply to that. Maybe I don't see my replies. Okay, so let's go back as the CRM user here. We'll go into Documents. Oops, Shared with Me, Project Management, Wastewater. It's going to load the spreadsheet. And let's look at comments. I wonder what I'm doing wrong there. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's do add comment to document. Let's do that. Okay, so now as the administrator I said changes confirmed for the CRM user, which is Tom in the field. And yes, I have a little icon there that said that there was an update to comments and changes confirmed for the CRM user below me. I have a paper trail. Super. And now I can come in and I don't want to do that on that side. Let's do it on the project manager side. I can say to Tom, and you can have up to 20 users for free in this. This is wonderful. Tom, August 17, 2018. Work on task 1.7. I'm going to send that to Tom, who's the CRM user. And we'll go back to Firefox here. I got an icon here that says chats done from the administrator, Tom. Work on task 1.7 on August 17. And Tom can say, will do. Real-time chat, but as a project manager, I may not get that until tomorrow. So let's close out of this, and we'll go back into my documents, project management. We'll just kind of close out of it, go back into it. So really having the email integration where it's sending synopsises of days, what's happened on, per day, and alerts. If you were in the project management field module of this, it handles it way more than it does with just using a standard folder document folder system, but it can be done either way. So I can see that there was a chat here, and will do. There it is. And let's look at this. Okay, apply. Changes confirmed. I'll have to look at this add reply to see how that actually works. As an administrator, you can do all sorts of things here. You can delete comments, that sort of thing. But we're good. I think that's a really handy way of, instead of having multiple paper versions of Gantt charts, spreadsheets, change orders, where they're being shuffled back and forth by a courier, an employee. I see it all the time, where folders are put together, they're put on a shelf, they need to go to the next department, which may be 40 miles away. Nobody has time to take them, so or they're forgotten, where between inter-office or inter-store locations, that folder may sit there for a week to 10 days before it gets in the hands of the person who's already behind the 8 ball on project management. So this solves a field office, home office disconnect quite literally in real time. I know I've gone way too long on this. I will do some editing to get rid of some of the junk in between. I've tried to stay on focus in regards to this. Let's do one last thing. We'll go back over as a CRM user here, and I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go back into mail for that user and take a look at anything that's been generated. Okay, so really I don't have too much new other than that access has been granted to a folder, project management, which would be the name of the project, more than likely, instead of just a folder called project management. So if I were in that office and I was a junior project manager, I could see at a glance immediately that, oh, okay, now I've got a new project that I'm going to be working with. It's pretty nice. What's new on your portal? I've noticed that these emails go out. Some of the formatting is broken on it, like the OnlyOffice logo at the top. But what's new on, my portal is wastewater mobilization of equipment, mobilize needed equipment, and that's all coming out of project management, and I promise to do a video on that shortly. Thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. Again, I'm not a professional content creator for YouTube. I make no money on this. I'm not associated with any of the applications or hardware that I do reviews on. And if you like my video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. You never know what you're going to look at here. Have a great day. I'm Jay Weldy with jrweldy.net.